So, thank you all for joining this mentoring call. This is our second call, and today we have Aris Ignacio, who is the vice chair of APRALO, that's Asia Pacific Regional at Large Organization, and he will be talking us about his experience and sharing his journey of some ground basic rules. If you have any question, raise your hands, write it in the chat, but basically raise your hands, and I hand it over to Eris. Please, Eris, share us your journey, how you started, what are you doing, what is at large for you, how this community has helped you. So it's up to you, Eris.
Thank you so much, Shreedeep, and good good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all who are here today. And I'm very glad to be with you and sharing all of my experiences. And I would to thank Shreedeep for inviting me over and maybe knowing some of you. And hopefully, I can share some of the experiences that I got previously, and yeah, hopefully it inspired you to also involve yourself or engage with what we do currently. So, how did I started? Wow, that's a very good question. Actually, honestly speaking, I had it very accidentally. It was really not an intention, and I think participated, and and I think I was searching for a specific organization that I need to be involved in because of a certain requirement in school, and because I am currently involved in a school. So when I was searching for that organization, I stumbled upon the Internet Society, and I registered there. And after registering, I got my membership, and the rest is history. So it's really a funny thing because when I was able to register after a couple of years, because in our country, our ISOC chapter. I think a lot of you are familiar with the Internet Society, and each and every country, more often than not, do have that certain ISOC chapter. And from there, representatives from our chapter, because previously we had our chapter rejuvenated because it was somewhat dormant for a very long time. Then from that rejuvenation, we had that certain group that formulated that one, and luckily we were rejuvenated, and up to this point on, we were able to establish the Internet Society as one of the major presence here in the Philippines and in Manila for that matter. And we are creating a lot of impact with regards to policies and development, more specifically some of the ICT policies that have been crafted within our country as well. Also, we are involved with some of the awareness programs that we are doing with regards to internet governance, technology, and specifically policy and technical support and technical awareness also. Primarily, I am involved in the education sector, and actually, I am sort of exposing students to the discussion with regards to internet governance, both within our country and not only in our country, but also in Asia Pacific as well. And in case you might be wondering why I've been involved with the education sector, it is because I am an academician and I've been in the academy for a very long time already. And I've been involved with students, more specifically technology students. And a lot of these technology students that I've been handling are not really very familiar on how the internet is being governed. And as we all know, there is what we call a multi-stakeholder model that has been being promoted on how to govern the internet as we speak. So a lot of students are not really familiar with that, and we started. I started bringing students to the to some events that involves more on, awareness on IG and the technology within the local scene here in Manila and outside Manila. And after that, I got to talk to representatives from the Asia Pacific Internet Governance Forum, Regional Internet Governance Forum, or the APRIGF, and we got a chance to participate in the Youth Internet Governance Forum that was created by NetMission. And if you know about NetMission, they are one of the spearheads with regards to the Youth Internet Governance Forum within the Asia Pacific region. And when I got a hold with them, and we had a very good conversation in making students participate with regards to internet governance, I was able to bring them. So moving forward, we are doing that every year, and it was a good experience for our students. And we also get a chance to expose a lot of students within our country as well, because of the Youth Internet Governance Forum, we were able to establish the Philippine Youth Internet Governance Forum here in the Philippines, with the assistance, not only with the assistance, but um, more often than not, the logistics was of organizing the actual forum itself was spearheaded by the students that we were able to bring to the international arena. So it is really a good way of, bringing, um, what do you call this, spreading the word of internet governance to our country, because our country is not really familiar with what internet governance is. So the students are the spearhead, and they help other students as well for them to be able to know more about internet governance. So with that, moving forward again, I was now involved with the Pralo. Okay, I it's like I participated during the the second at large summit, which was held in London in 2014, sorry, 2014. And that started my journey, my Apralo ICANN journey. And I've been selected as a fellow for ICANN for, I think, a number of times already, maybe around 3 times. And when there was an opportunity to step up, I dipped my toes in the playing field, and luckily I was able to be elected and be one of the vice chairs for Apralo currently. And now I'm currently in my second term, and hopefully to continue, um, you know, providing service to the end users. And you might be wondering what Apralo is all about. Apralo is part of the at-large structure of Apralo, and we cater the interests of the end users, and their involvement with regards to how policy is being crafted within ICANN. And with regards to the structure, we do have a couple of representatives to the ICANN structure, and we play a major role in terms of how the policies are being crafted within ICANN. So that's Apralo is all about. And another thing, I've been involved in the IGF also for a past within the past couple of years, and um, I've been part of the ambassadorship. I've been an Internet Governance Forum ambassador for, I think, in 2017, and with Shreedeep around. We've been making waves with regards to the Learn IG movement and some other stuff as well. And also within our local involvement, I've been part of the ISOC chapter for a very long time already, and I've served our Philippine chapter with within different capacities. I've been a board chair, president, and also a vice president for development and also for technology. And I've been around with regards to all of the things that have been happening within our local setting. And one of our proud moments is that we were able to bring about the national ICT framework with the Department of Information and Communication Technology as its lead. We were able to formulate the true sense of what multi-stakeholderism is. And we have been going through the different parts of the Philippines, getting inputs coming from different stakeholders. And from that, we were able to craft a policy in regards to our framework. So that is one thing that we are really proud of. And lastly, I am also involved with, just like what I mentioned, APRIGF. And currently, I'm its vice chair. And we just finished with the I think the 15th edition of the APRIGF. If correct me if I'm wrong. So I think that's the 15th edition, and it was held in Taipei a couple of weeks ago, maybe around 3 weeks ago. So and next year we are going to hold it in Shreedeep's home turf in Kathmandu in Nepal. So if there will be any questions, I would love to hear them, and hopefully I could answer. And I think that's somewhat a very broad introduction in regards to what I do and my current involvement with regards to
Okay.
internet topics.
Okay, Aris. So there is a question
Yes.
by Abdi Risad. You could unmute and you could ask if you want, or else I could read it out. Yeah.
Thank you very much, mentor Shreeb and Aris. That was actually a very nice presentation. You know, I am. This is my second time of the fellow, and you know, I am very much interested to join a group, specifically that at large group. I have been in ICANN for around 2 years, and you know, I also attended Afrinic, Afrinic fellowship. I was 25 Afrinic 25 fellow. So I want to align myself in a group, and I just want to exactly apply it and join. So what is the process of joining it? Can I join anytime? Because I was now visiting that large group, specifically Africa at large group,
Okay.
and I was filling the application. So can I join anytime? What is the process and how long it takes?
Okay. Thank you for that question. I really do appreciate that. Just to be clear, the counterpart of Apralo in the African region is Afralo. Okay, and Afralo is the African Regional at Large organization, and at, as of this time, there is a certain mailing list that you could participate on, and it would be good if you could subscribe to that mailing list, and all of the activities that involving Afralo is being announced through that mailing list. And it would be good if you could maybe email the ICANN staff so you could be included in the mailing list. And that is a good start, actually, um, for you to be able to know the inner dealings within Afralo. Another thing is that it would be good for you to also apply for a fellowship. I think I don't know, Shreedeep, they were able to, if the one who asked the question is a former fellow, but it would be good for you to apply for the fellowship program, and usually that is really the start of you being involved in a fellow and in ICANN for that matter. And it's not only within at large, but also there are other structures that are available for. But I'm concentrating more on the user end user level. So it's really more on the at large thing. So again, just for you to make up your mind on how you are going to get involved in is first and foremost, join any mailing list, observe what they are currently doing, and if you want to involve directly, you can maybe join the working groups if that would be the case. So I think those are some of the things that you could look into.
Yes,
So
Abdul
there,
Rashid. Yeah, you can ask.
so there is Afralo or at large fellowships as well.
Yes, Afralo is for the African region. Okay, so that is the end user counterpart for Apralo, which is the Asia Pacific one. So and also the fellowships are open for anyone who wants to know more about ICANN and also some of the things that they do, and it is like an introduction and an onboarding type of a if you program by ICANN. So it would be good for you to
Yeah,
join
Aris.
in, apply for it.
So,
Yes, Philip.
a lot of them are fellows here.
Good, good. Yes,
So a
that's
lot
good
of
to
them are fellows here, just to clear
mhm.
that. And apart from that, I think to join, the first step is to join the Afralo, as Eris rightly said, join their discussion list, and then
Yes,
progress. You have to work because there are leadership position from Afralo to ALAC, right, at large.
yes,
So there are position to engage from there as well. So first you join the Afralo, since you are from Africa region. After you join the region, you start to receive the mail. I will send you the link or where to contact, so that I will be sending you guys. uh, for every one of you, you can join in your respective relos according to your country region, and then you can engage. So basically everything starts with engagement. As I would like to praise Aris for the work that he has done with the youth, like he has been bringing in youth, engaging youth, the community. So the basic motivation or basic passion about the whole ICANN fellowship program is engagement. If you engage, there is more opportunity.
yes. Yes. And being visible, actually, Shreedeep,
Yes.
is one thing. If you're visible because you're engaging, you'll be noticed. And being noticed is not only you being able to go into a leadership position, but also making an impact to the people that you are working with. And if you are making that impact more often than not, you will be having a lot of, people and invite people to join in, and they will be more than interested in also engaging and you know moving with you with regards to your goal and making the internet as as what we want it to be in the future. So,
So, Eris, I would like to request, if there is any question, please raise your hand and then I'll give you the floor.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's another
Abdul
one.
Rahman. Abdul
Uh,
Rahman, you can ask your question.
yeah, he's in mute.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Can you
Yeah,
hear me
that's good.
now? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Nice to see you again, Aris and
Yeah,
Shreedeep.
Abdul Rahman, nice to see you too.
Yeah, yeah. I hope to meet you in Taipei, but because
Oh,
yeah, I attended the APSEC and I supposed to attend the AP in
ah,
here, but I had to back for family circumstances. My
I
my
see.
father passed away, so I had to back.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to ask, you just mentioned your beginning with ISOC, and this was in which year exactly? Like 10 years or?
I started with ISOC. Wow. Yeah, I think my age is showing here. It's yeah, it's I started around 2000. ISOC Philippines chapter or the global chapter.
Yeah, I
So
mean with the internet governance in general.
internet governance in general.
Yeah.
I started in 2008, so
Okay.
it's like it's my
Good.
sixth year
Yeah.
of involvement.
Yeah.
So
That's perfect. So I just want to know now, with your great experience, um, what is the reflection of your experience in both the local, I mean, now you have like many editions of local internet governance in Philippines, and now you are like kind of representative of the challenges of the internet in Asia Pacific to into the ICANN policy processing. So do you think your experience, or the internet governance forum, local forums, for let's see the real example of Philippines, does this enhance the reality of the internet in Philippines? I mean, do you have like influence the regulations? You managed to bring all stakeholders on the table to discuss the policy, and how did you do that?
wow, wow, that's a great question. Thank you for that one. Um, right now, we are happy to say that we were able to assist as Internet Society Philippines chapter as a whole. We were able to assist the passing of a couple of Philippine laws or Philippine bills uh, that was I think passed through the Senate and our House of Representatives, and we have I think the previously we have a duopoly in terms of our telecommunications with regards to we do have those only we do have two big companies that monopolize the industry. But we were able to assist and file a bill and also be successful in establishing another telco, which is very, very difficult during that time. And we're happy to say that we were able to assist the legislators to be able to assist that and to be able to pass that bill. Another one would be just like what I mentioned earlier, the the national ICT framework was a we do have a great influence with regards to that one because we somewhat have a hand with the groundwork of that specific framework. And as an organization, we are happy to say that that is really a very big accomplishment on our end. Another one, which is currently um, on the table right now, is for us to be able to have like a public Wi-Fi within Manila and outside Manila also, and that is already in the I think in the chamber's second read, and hopefully we would be able to, and we're praying that that specific bill would be able to be passed for the third reading and hopefully being signed as a bill by the president of the Philippines. So those somewhat so
Good.
in regards to our accomplishment. And yeah, it's really difficult in a way, but at the end of the day, with patience and hopefulness and a little bit of luck and prayer, everything can be accomplished. And also one of the reflections that that I have experienced with regards to the thing that I'm doing right now, that we really need to give awareness to people, especially right now that technology has been around. We are now being everything that we do in technology is being is really being part of it. So the ethical use of how technology is being used. So we need to at least make people aware of that, because not really a lot of people, especially the ones who are younger, the younger generations, they are just starting to know what technology is. So we really need to have them, know the do's and don'ts, and also some of the things that they need to use the internet in a positive manner. So I think that is one of the things that we really need to look into moving towards the future. So those are some of my reflections. Yeah. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, thank you. Actually, I have more questions, but I prefer to give the floor to my colleagues to ask, and if they finish, I can come back.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes, Sokshita, you can unmute your mic and have your question.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Abdullah, for giving the floor to me. And thank you, Philip, for organizing this. And thank you, Aris, for sharing. It's really
Thank you so much.
inspiring. And not really a question, but in the question, but yeah, I truly admire your spirit as an educator. Like, I would
Wow.
love to see more professor or senior faculty at my school to get involved in this area because um, usually in sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm from Cambodia. I'm from Cambodia, so we have a lot of advocates for internet governance, but mostly in civil society field, and only the people in civil society field get to get involved in this, but not in the education field. And that is what I'm going to ask you, like how can I encourage my professor to engage in internet governance? Because actually, I asked one of my professor to be a reference person for my fellowship application.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I share all the information that okay, we get to go to ICANN meeting in different country, but he's still not interested. And I told him that the upcoming ICANN institute is coming as well, and he still didn't apply for it. So, if he didn't get to enroll in a first like fellowship, so he won't go further like having creating his own initiative for awareness, because and it's his he's someone from higher up as a professor. He
Mhm.
must have some background for it, and it's unfair for me as a student have little impact for it. So yeah, yeah. So sorry if it's overwhelmed, but my question is, how can I encourage my professor to engage in the internet governance field?
Wow, that's actually that's a tough question, because if you want to get into internet governance, you need to have an open mind. You
Mm,
need to understand what really is internet governance and how to get involved in it.
yeah,
Uh, Actually, when you talk about internet governance, you're not just talking about law or being in technology per se. If you are someone who is in research, and also someone who is like not really part of the civil society but really more in academia, you creating a research and presenting it in conferences, for example. And this is talking I am talking in my educator hat. So if you're going to present it in conferences, for example, and creating a paper or a research with regards to internet governance, I think that is a good way to start. Because if you are going to know internet governance in a what I call this, in a more theoretical manner, and being able to exemplify it through research, I think that can be a start for you to get involved and to get interested in. And from that point on, if you, for example, if your professor for maybe had an interest in joining into some fellowships that are out there, being exposed to that and being able to know a lot of people who are also involved in the same field, and also involving themselves in internet governance, I think that can be a good start, and maybe might spark a little bit of interest to get involved in the future. So I think that's one thing that I got maybe an idea on how to get involved if you're really into the academic field, because it's really difficult in a way, because a lot of people are not really that familiar, and getting really familiar with what internet governance is and how it can, I think, improve your credibility moving forward. I think that can be also a good indication to get involved also. So maybe if you could push him or her a little bit further, I think
Mhm.
he or she can create an impact.
Can I say that, for example, I'm organizing YITF in Cambodia, so can I invite my professor to be a speaker?
Yes, that can be a good
Right.
platform to begin with. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and maybe he would be able to see the enthusiasm of the students, being involved in such a big and great event. And if he can see that these students are learning and maybe participating in engaging, maybe that can also spark his interest. Yeah.
Yeah, just I just like to add something onto that, Aris. The work that Aris has been doing with IGF is purely, like getting the youth to the table. So what he is doing is, all the old folks are there with APR, IGF, and everyone, and he's getting the youth people to learn. So when you look at the whole scenario, Sukshata, it is all about bringing in everyone to the table, and like creating those values, learning from each other. There might be differences in between them and us. We are still struggling, we are still fighting. Let me be very clear with you. There are opportunities, there are leadership goals, there are visions, there are missions, there are this, that. We are fighting. I mean to say, youth, we have energy, we have passion, we want to do things, we want to change the world. Older people are a bit reluctant, they want it to be done in the same process manner. So it's all about the whole process of combining it together. The school that and Eris also agrees on to this, that we studied on was Diplo gave us the whole internet governance to be with diplomacy. IG has to be diplomatic. So I think that is where, and the work that he has done bringing in the youth to the table is phenomenal. So that is really, you have to bring everyone in.
Yes. And also, just to add to that, Shreedeep, if you really want to get involved in internet governance, you really need to have an open mind, and
So
that
true. So true.
just, yeah,
Yes.
because yeah,
You agree to disagree and disagree to agree. So like
yes.
you it's amazing. It's amazing, really. So any more questions, please? So I have a question for you, Eris. A lot of the newcomers are here, and a lot of the newcomers are intimidated in terms of when they see ICANN. It's big. It's full with acronyms. As one of the fellows said, he was a fellow back, and still he's struggling. So what are the basic tips? How can you put yourself more visual in the ICANN community? What are the things that you should do? I mean to say, you are working in the Relo's leadership team, and you are doing a lot of outreach and engagement. So what do you think that newcomers should do so that they get the spot in, they get better fellowship, they get more recognition?
Thank you for that. And another difficult question, but funny as it may seem, and this is a secret to all of us here. um, Even though I'm already vice chair, I'm still struggling with regards to some of the things within ICANN, and I would like to admit that to everyone. But at the end of the day, if you are visible enough, if you are contributing, for example, right now we do have this um, uh, rules of procedure document, and I think it is open for everyone to register and fill out the form. And as simple as that, filling out a form, that is already one form of engagement with regards to a problem. Another thing is that we are already looking towards the second round of applications. And if you want to dip your hand into it, you could maybe mention a thing or two, or maybe suggest something for the improvement of that process. And some of those things are really very, very small ones, but it creates really an impact. Another thing is that, just like what I mentioned earlier, just to start with, you could be part of the mailing list. And not only that, if there's a call with regards to maybe joining for working groups, especially there is what you call right now, they do call it a small team. They had a call with regards to that, volunteers. And if you're going to volunteer on that, that was previously. So that is one example wherein you could volunteer with regards to a certain program that they are creating. And if you're going to be involved in that, and it will just be going towards document creation and looking towards some of the things that they are. It's really intimidating at the beginning, but once you get used to it, it will be a lot more easier for you to engage, and the comfort level will be there. Because speaking from experience, I also had doubts, and also I am being afraid really to engage myself. But at the end of the day, when I was able to work on a certain project within Apralo previously, and it became really successful with regards to how we did it. We actually, that certain activity that involved students in during ICANN 75, it was so successful that, you know at the end of the day, you would be able to realize that it's like it's not really that difficult to engage. It's just that finding the right opportunity to engage would be really a thing for you moving forward. So I hope, Shreedeep, that answers your question.
Yes, thank you, Eris. So, any more questions? If you have questions, please raise your hand and you can ask your question, because this is a golden opportunity to learn more about the engagements in ICANN. And it is very difficult, when you see ICANN from outside and the way it works, it looks very technical, very with very good names. But from inside, it is as soft as you could go and reach out and start your engagement, and you could start engaging, and the community is very friendly. So, uh, anyone, any questions?
Hmm.
Yep, I just have a question. I'm sorry because I think I had to introduce myself earlier. I am Abdulrahman Abu Talib. I was the vice president of Yemen chapter, and now I am the ALS representative of Yemen chapter in APR. I was a member of advisory committee of the Arab Internet Governance Forum. So I have good experience on how to deal with the stakeholders, and we have difficulties in our region to bring all stakeholders to the table, especially the government, who they are the most powerful stakeholder. Yeah, but and also I am a journalist, so I used to, I mean, in the past I used to write a lot about the internet governance, and to be honest, I used to write to criticize ICANN. Yeah, but when I tried to read about ICANN, it is kind of complex, and I find I find answers for my question, but I face a new question needed to be answered. So thank you, because you make it easy when you see you still have this kind of confusion about ICANN.
Yes.
So yeah, so this is my question now. I have been selected 3 times to be a fellow, but I couldn't travel for logistic or visa issues, and I always attend the online ICANN meeting. But even if the on-site meeting, some of friends who I know they attend, especially for the first time, it's kind of chaos with all of these meetings and sessions, workshops, and speakers. And I don't know. I need your advice on this. Do I need to be more specific what I need exactly to follow, or I just need to take a general idea, or to have a log of what is going there, or I don't know. Because, for example, I'm concerned about digital rights, human rights, shutdowns. I'm not, despite I'm ICT engineer, but I'm not concerned about the technical issues. So how I can start with this? I mean, before the meeting, for example, with APRAL or work groups, or with the ICANN meetings. Also, the techniques that working inside ICANN about the policy is very difficult until now. I mean, the emails, the guide procedures, all of this is still confused for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that one, Abdurrahman. You know, finding your niche would be the most crucial one. If you want to concentrate on maybe security or on the technical side, you could go into that. If you want to help the cause of end users, you can go to ALA. If you want to go into the nonprofit side, there's also a nonprofit group. So it's really more on looking towards what really is your concentration, because you cannot assimilate everything. Let's face it. That is why it's really, really difficult. There are a lot of emails coming in, especially if you are subscribed with not only with one constituent, but multiple constituents. You will get, and I mean, you will get a bundle of emails every day, and I mean every day.
Yes, you
So
get lost.
yeah, it's like if you, it's really concentrating on what is really your interest and what would be the one that you are interested in building upon. You really want to rally in the interest of end users, so go to it. If you want to rally the interest of businesses, you go to BC. That's a business constituent. If you want to go to governments and you are part of the government, you could go to GAP. So, or the government advisory council. So it's really more on what really is your interest and what you want to really rally from, and that is one key for you to be able to, you know, just concentrate and on one thing. Because if you're going to concentrate in a lot of things, you would really have a difficult time in reading a lot of, you know, the emails that have been loitering around your inbox. So I think that's one key, and maybe Shreedeep has another take with regards to that. But for me, concentrating on what is really that you want to rally from is really one of the things. Shreedeep, maybe you have an addition with regards to that.
Yeah, I mean to say
Thank you.
that's what we discussed during the first meeting about how to navigate the ICANN meeting. The recording is there, and probably, like, if you have any question, that is the reason why the mentorship program is there. We are there to guide you about how to delegate. A lot of the part of the ICANN is it's very overwhelming a lot of the times. So the schedule is there. You can schedule the meetings, as I already said in the first meeting as well, and I would like to repeat that. You have to be smart, you have to listen, you have to understand, you have to come prepared. You going there, making asking questions, random questions, doesn't make sense. Come prepared, a day before. You have the schedule, just go through it. If you're interested, create some case studies, go out, ask that question, you would be spotted. I mean to say, these communities are there to engage. They spend a lot of money, especially for the fellows. Even if you look at the real facts, it is about a lot of money that is being put on to a fellow. So it is your responsibility to come prepared, to put the questions, genuine questions. I mean to say, there is no such thing as idiot question, but put some genuine hard work so that people can feel that you have done your homework. As we have experienced, as we have experienced this, making yourself come prepared helps, right, Eris?
Yes, yes, I agree with that. And as an addition, with regards to that, Shreedeep, the I Can Learn courses are very, very beneficial for you to be able
So
to
true.
know the inner workings of ICANN. And there are a lot of I Can Learn courses that are available for you free of charge. You could look into it and learn through it. It's like an online course for you to take, and that would really assist you and also help you very greatly with regards to understanding on how everything will work from the more on the general side. And not only that, there are also some courses that specializes with some of the things ICANN has been dealing with. So I think you could also browse into that one. And as fellows, I think some of you have already engaged yourself with in taking an ICANN Learn course, but you could go further also, just like what Shadibat mentioned. You want to come prepared, that is also one way for you to come prepared. Maybe takes additional I can learn courses, which is beyond what was assigned to you during your fellowship, if you have been under the fellowship program before. So, just one tip for you to take.
Yeah, and I would also like to add, especially under my mentorship, what I do is every morning we have the breakfast meeting before
Yeah.
going out to the ICANN. So we round up, we talk about issues, about experiences. So that also kind of like helps you facilitate in this process. And it is a lot of the times what happens is, when we are new to this community, we join and we kind of like go through and we see and join all the groups, and the emails that are bombarded are like, you cannot keep a track about that. So finding your niche, as Eris said, is, it's very important.
Yeah, and we are new before.
Yeah.
Remember that.
So and the most important thing, during the meeting you will also be given the fellows tag. So like with that tag you could go out, ask people about things. So people in the community are very friendly. They kind of like have this attitude, a friendlier attitude towards the fellows. So that helps. And but personally, I am a person who's very serious. I've seen people grow, and I am more of a prepared person. So I would, just a day before, go through. And the most important thing about ICANN is not so tough, let me tell you. What ICANN is all about is, it's basically policy making. DNS abuse is phishing. That is what you have to understand, how you can take it back to your community and bridge the gap. So that is where you have to prepare yourself. That's where you have to bring in the voices, case studies, find case studies from your published sources, bring it down to the meeting. There are open forums, make your valid points, and you will be spotted, I guess.
Agree.
Yes, so now any more questions? No more questions?
No
I
more
have a
question?
lot of questions. So Eris,
Yes.
you've explained a lot about your journey, how it works, the Relos work, how things work around. But now I would like to talk about the policy making process, because there is a lot of issue. People think policy making issues is something like very big, and I would like you to express your ideas, perspective about what you have experienced in the ICANN community with the policy making.
Okay. Well, with regards to policy making, I'm not really a policy person. I would like to admit that. But with regards to how ICANN does it, there's really a certain process. And usually, um, policies, for example, are being crafted in a way that they ask the members of, for example, within a prolo, to look into a document. And whenever they look into a document, they ask people to comment on that. And once people comment on that, they will look into the that document and all of those comments and take into consideration all of those that was inserted or maybe stated by several users within the Apralo region. And from there, they would be they would be crafting a final document, and from that point on they would be submitting it to ALAC, wherein that would be talked about and discussed, so that each and every rallo would be able to give their take with regards to a certain policy or a certain issue. Then from that point on, it will be consolidated and it will be a general statement coming from the ALAC before going into sending it to the upper level of ICANN, and for them to be able to discuss it further and maybe hopefully to ratify it moving forward, depending on whatever issue with that. So, just in a nutshell, that's for me to be able to understand how I understood it on my level. So, if there would be anything that Shreedeep can add on to that, I it would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, completely agree to that. And it's basically a consensus building process. That's how it works here in ICANN. And so yeah, for him, you can open your mic, unmute your mic.
Hi, Aris. Thank you for sharing your journey. It
Hi,
was
Fahim.
truly inspiring.
Yeah,
Hi,
how are
Aris.
you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, good.
Yeah, thank you, Aris, for sharing your journey with us. My question is related to the policy formation, actually. Can you
Mhm.
tell us that how the issue is identified within ICANN and how it, shifted towards the policy development process? There, in order to develop certain policy, there should be an issue to be addressed, right?
Yes, yes.
So I want to know that how that issue is identified and which groups, uh, you know, uh, and at which group those issues are to be identified and how they craft a first-time policy.
Mhm. Okay. This is how I understood it. Okay. Shreedeep, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I understood it. So first and foremost, in identifying what issue would that be, it would be something that concerns anything about ICANN with regards to their management of uh, DNS and domain names and some of those stuff. So, well, depending on the issue, for example, right now it's more on the second round of applications of I think um, GTLDs. So that's generic domain names. If correct me if I'm wrong. So um, with regards to that, the process on how the next applications, um, it's like once they were able to determine that certain issue, they would now go into getting the opinions of each and every constituency that is out there. So, depending on the constituency, uh, it concentrates on whatever their concerns would be. For example, for ALAC, it's concerning end users. So, what is the take of end users with regards to the issue at hand? Another thing is there's a technical group. What is the concern of the technical group with regards to the issue? So all of those issues are being combined, and again, just like what Shreedeep had mentioned, it's more on a consensus base. So once the constituency was able to create a consensus, that is being brought to the next level. Okay, so until uh, whenever it was brought to the next level, it will be again discussed depending on the issue at hand. Then once they already created a consensus, it will be now brought to the board for them to be able to vote on it. And once they have already agreed upon it, it will be ratified as we speak. So that's how I understood it. So it might be some I don't know, maybe some I already skipped some processes, but that's how I understood it and how it is being crafted as we speak. So I think Shreedeep, if there is anything that you want to add.
Yes, I mean to say, I have worked as a policy chair for the APDALO Policy Forum, and exactly the way you said it, it
Oh
keeps
wow.
on going on and off within the community. And then once the consensus is built, it goes back to the board. And then, the board works on it. And if there is anything, the final voting is done, and then the changes happen. So that's the process. So that is a good question. Very good question.
Very good question.
But it's all about consensus building. If people do not agree, things keep on sliding, like it keeps on going within. So it may take 2 months, it may take 6 months, it may take a year, and still it will be going on. So those are the things that happen, because a lot of the communities, a lot of the advisory groups, supporting organizations, there are so much in the ICANN community, and it keeps on coming in, going back, working with the development. You might have heard about the Amazon case, and I would like to mention this, that ICANN does not work outside its remit. It has
Yes.
to be within the DNS, rightly said by Eris. It has to work
Yes.
within the ICANN remit. Outside, it doesn't matter. It would not even touch the issue if it's not within the ICANN remit. So it might be related to human rights, it might be related to internet governance, but if it's not related to DNS and ICANN bylaws, it will not even touch it. So
Yes.
that is
Agree on that.
clearly said.
Yes. Yeah.
So any
I
more
think
questions? Any
I
more
think there.
questions?
I think Abdurrahman has his hands up.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with you that the courses in ICANN Learning Academy is very useful. But to be honest, I feel that they have a lack of real examples or case studies. So just suggestion for Shreedeep, maybe for the next sessions, if we can take like real example of a specific policy, how it started, when, how and how it went from bottom up to the board, and how long does it take, so we can understand exactly how policy happened there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For that, you have to get engaged with the railways. Like a lot of the action is happening there. You will see first, hand in hand. I mean to say, if you go to GNSO, there are people who will be fighting. Correct me, Aris, right? We have seen people literally, like the GAG people are like, there, you want to see it, you go to the ICANN meeting and join the meeting. It is really interesting the way they, like people are against. I have seen it in Japan as well.
Maybe we can take something from the history. Something is already finished and it is deployed, or something like this. I mean,
Yeah, I'll
it's not.
probably try to get someone who is like, who's done with that. I'll keep that in mind, and I'll bring in
Okay.
someone who's more into the policy thing. Yeah, so now
Thank
we
you.
have Mira.
Hello. Thank you, Aris, for your amazing sharing.
Thank
This
you.
is Mira from Indonesia. So I
Mm.
have this like impression maybe for apa namanya, the aspiration of civil society and users that in the context of internet governance we the one that always push for like a chance gitu, a chance that is in the hands of other stakeholders gitu, in the other stakeholder like government or uh, uh, private entity, the business. So we always be the one that pushing some things to change So I would like to know your opinion whether this is the true, like this is the true mindset that we have, and is it always does it always do we always should have this kind of approach on whenever issue or discourse that we are trying to dive in.
Mhm. Wow, and that's a very, very good question. Because usually, when we talk about internet governance, usually the civil society, correct me if I'm wrong, usually the civil society is in the forefront, right? So, as always. And I think, with regards to the other stakeholders, they would only be interested if they have, sorry to say, they have, um, some investment with regards to what is being the issue that is being discussed. But at the end of the day, it is really each and everyone's responsibility for it to be like a, the issues to be discussed. Each and every stakeholder should be open with regards to how they can work together as different stakeholders, what they can contribute to the table, and for it to be able, for the issues to be able to be given a solution, moving forward. It's really, that's the ideal on how we're going to look at it. But at the end of the day, reality strikes. It's really, I think, the job of the civil society to bring everyone and rally everyone for it to be able to, for something to happen with regards to, um, the issues that needs to be discussed. So it's, yeah, that's really the job of of civil society, and it's really a difficult task, but it is not really impossible, because based on experience, we were able to do that, with the I think the collaboration of the civil society and our organization, the academe, the government, and even some of the individuals that we have yes, we were able to do it, and it is really a difficult task, but it is really not impossible. So, if there will be someone who can be a champion for it, I think anything can happen. So, I hope we answered the question, and maybe Shreedeep can add something to it. That way.
I completely agree to that. It's a multi-stakeholder environment, and it's everybody's responsibility to work together to create a inclusive, in more multi-stakeholder environment. So yeah, Sana, you have your hand. You can unmute and ask a question.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm Sanam there.
Yeah,
Ask something regarding.
Sana, you're
yes,
not audible. Can you come closer to the mic?
Sana.
Sana, can you type your question? We cannot hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what are your final words? Probably we'll get the question from
Hello.
Sana. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hello.
yes. Yeah,
Now
hi,
can you
Sana.
hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
better now.
I'm here. So how are you guys?
I'm good. I'm good. And you, Sana?
Can you ask your
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
can you
you
ask your
are.
question?
Yes.
About the policy thing. So how we raise that, like in like individual form or in a group form,
Uh,
to identify that there is a policy on that or there is a concern on that. So how we do that?
uh, Shreedeep, did you get the question? I didn't really quite
No,
get it.
same here. I could not. Sana, can you type your question? There's too
Oops.
much of background noise.
Yes.
Eris, what are your final recommendations, especially for newcomers and old comers as well who have like previously gone through the program? What are your suggestions? How they can put themselves in the spot and further create that engagement and get spotted.
Yeah. Before anything else, Shreedeep, I just want to thank you and for inviting me over and sharing all my experiences and maybe some tips for them to be able to get involved. So at the end of the day, it is really um, involvement is the key, and you being engaged with whatever way possible. You need to really raise your voice out there and maybe insist in a way a little thing on this, a little thing on that, but it will really not hurt for you to join working groups, for example, volunteer yourself, give a little bit of time, and even you know more time for it, because being a volunteer in this internet governance sphere, and not only in ICANN but also in IGF and some other programs that are out there and organizations. Uh, you know, giving time, allotting time for to volunteer and engage yourself is really a good key. You might not be looking at a leadership position, but at the end of the day, being involved and being able to be part of something of greater purpose. Uh, it would really give you a sense of fulfillment, and that sense of fulfillment, even though you're not a part of the leadership team, and I'm just lucky to be part of the leadership team, but at the you know it's really very fulfilling. I've been into this for a couple of years already, even though I'm not part of the leadership team before, but being able to be part of something with regards to the grand scheme of things, it's really fulfilling. And for you to be able to get involved and being part of it as a whole, maybe you could also encourage others to be on the table as well. Because encouraging others and bringing others into the discussion is also that fulfilling, because they would really appreciate the things that you have done for them, especially if they were able to contribute also. And let us, bring more people, and yeah, and let them also contribute. And I think that can be a good way to start, and maybe, just like what I mentioned, build the internet the way we want it to be. So, Shidi, thank you so much.
Yes. Sana has her question written down, and I've written the possible answer that, a lot of the policy work happens in the open document within the community.
Yes.
So, like you could participate, you could put your question in, you could voice your issues there, and you could
Yes.
volunteer in the group as well to build the consensus process as well. So, I think it is more about participating and then learning. So that is the reason why the courses are there, the I Can Learn courses are there. We are there to help you guys. I mean to say, Eris, thank you for coming down and
Thank you so
giving
much.
this space, and like at least sharing your experience, because this is what is so beautiful about the community. People are so genuine, people are so interested in reaching out to newcomers, so that they had the problem when they were newcomers. They were not like, you know people were not this flexible enough to come and talk to you guys. But right now we understand the issues, because we want people to come from different parts of Asia. I mean to say, so Soksheta is coming from Cambodia, where the engagement, I mean, the Southeast Asia is completely, it's closed. There are like limited participation, right? And there are a lot of people coming in from Arab, like a lot of people coming in from North America, everywhere. So we need to build that. And thank you, Eris. Thank you for joining in. I'm available. Eris is also
everywhere.
available. You could ask the question if anything is needed. Thank you, Eris, for joining. I'm officially closing this call. Thank you all for joining.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Eris.
much, guys. See you
Thank
around.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Have a
See you.
nice rest of the day.